Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Ready, Set, Go, What to Consider Before You Start Your Small Business workshop at this year's GROW conference at Westchester Community College. I am Persephone Zill. Let's introduce myself. I'm Persephone Zill, Senior Program Specialist at the Women's Enterprise Development Center. I have been helping women start and grow businesses for almost 20 years, and I myself manage 2 food businesses and also have had a business and life coaching practice. The title of this workshop is Ready, Set, Go. And so as I was preparing for this, I thought to myself to divide this into the 3 sections. Ready is being a business owner for me. Then we're going to talk about set. Where is the opportunity? And then finally, go, making it happen. All right, so ready is owning a business for me. Many people come to our organization, our Women's Business Center. I want to be my own boss. I want to control my schedule. I want to follow my passion, my dreams. I want to make money directly from my efforts. And I want to design it the way I want it. And so they come in with that side, with just so excited, and that's what they're going to do. And the reality is that as they go about it, they find the right-hand side, the challenges, that actually owning your own business means very little time off for probably a long time. They're most likely going to have to finance the business themselves initially. I heard Barbara Corcoran told everyone that her boyfriend gave her first $1,000, so whatever way you can get started. You're going to handle all the administrative aspects, the IT, the billing, a lot of things people don't think about, taking the garbage out, just a lot of things that when you have a job, it's handled by other people. And then finally, a regular salary is not guaranteed for a while, often 2 to 3 to 4 years to begin to develop a salary. It's just important when you're thinking, is this for me? Can I handle those challenges? They're creative problem solvers. They're high energy. They have the ability to ask. They ask for the sale. They ask for money. They ask for help when they need it. They ask, what do I need to do today? And they're persuasive and compelling. Successful entrepreneurs are very resourceful. Other people's money, other people's resources. They really figure out how to leverage. They're independent. They can deal with uncertainty. They can get up after a failure. And they often have a strong support network, a family that believes in them, friends, and then, banker, lawyer, accountant, mentors, a sort of board of advisors. And this is the type of traits that lead people to be successful entrepreneurs. So ask yourself, what work? So this is as you're beginning to think, is this for me? Is this what I want to do? Ask yourself, what work would I do for free? What are my skills, talents, interests, passions, hobbies? What's my knowledge base? What's my work experience? Because you're going to be working long hours, I heard it once said, instead of 9 to 5, it's 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. And so what is it that you do that gets you in the flow, that you're not even aware of time passing? It doesn't feel like work. So I started to think of some examples from our center, and we have a bunch of businesses that are pet services, like a doggy daycare and a dog walking service. And I thought about what are their skills, what are their talents? Well, first of all, they love animals. One of them is big in the rescue community with rescue animals. But their skills are selling, customer service. I was counseling a woman, and she said, when I walk by a house and I hear a dog barking, I write down the address, and then I send them the postcard from our pet service. And another one who runs something called a Bark Above daycare for dogs. Her background was setting up systems for growing companies. And so starting this daycare center, she was very comfortable with setting up the register and the database for the pet owners. So for them, these pet services, it's not work because they enjoy the setting up the business. They enjoy like finding where are the dog owners. They enjoy talking to them. They're very persuasive, and they believe in what they do. They believe in taking good care of animals, and so it's passionate. They're passionate about it, and they're willing to work long hours. So I ask you to think about yourself, and what is it, if you're going to start a business, what is it that you love and you would be doing in your downtime anyway? And if you don't know, ask the people around you, because often we have some unique gift or talent that we think everybody must be able to do, but it's unique to us, and we can't see it because it's so easy. It comes so easy. So ask yourselves, ask the people around you. Do your homework. And this is where all the small business resources can help you. And I'll be talking about those further on. But research the marketplace and look for trends. Right now, there are trends: non-medical home care for aging baby boomers, developing mobile websites. The purchasing went from 12% 2 years ago of people purchasing on their phones to 37% last year. It's only going to increase substantially this year. So developing mobile apps and websites. Healthy fast food. So, in airports, I recently flew to Seattle, and I noticed for the first time there were a lot more offerings of healthy food in the airports. Gluten-free. Life tracking, those devices that everybody's wearing now, tells how many calories they're burning. And so life tracking, putting things into apps is a trend. And pets, I mentioned pets before. So you want to look for trends out there. You want to read business articles and research the web. I love the web in terms of you can find the type of business you're interested in. It might not be in New York. It might be in California. It might be, in Florida. It might be in England. But you can find different business models, and I call it back engineering, where you utilize someone else's hard work, where they've tested out, is this going to work? What are the services? What is the pricing? How should I talk about it? And you could potentially even find a mentor that's another business owner that's not threatened because they're in a different geographic location. So I recommend the web for articles, and also to find these business models that can give you ideas at least. Work in the industry and get experience. At WEDC, we have someone who helps people apply for MWBE contracts. And for 2 years, she worked for a firm that's what they did. So her job was to get these MWBE contracts with the support of a larger organization and all the administrative help. And then she went off on her own to start her own business doing that. The last point, the business opportunity may be different than you expected or planned. I can't stress this one enough, because we have an idea in our minds of what it is that we want to do, but we don't know until we're actually doing it. Is this what the customers want? Is this what they'll pay for? Is this in the right branding or packaging? And so another successful trait of entrepreneurs is to be flexible and to be open to how it can change. And I think of a mother-daughter team that we have at WEDC who they were featured in Oprah's magazine, and they started with soaps imported from it's Ayurvedic from India, these sort of natural soaps to sell at spas and gift stores and pharmacies. And they have the beautifully wrapped paper around them, and they're in beautiful boxes. But after really spending a lot of time and effort and money on these soaps. They don't have a high profit margin, and that people don't use them that much. They don't come back because they're so beautiful. They're almost like a piece of art, so people don't buy them that often. And so this year, they've actually moved into perfumes made out of essential oils. They've added the line to their business, and apparently they're very trendy right now because a lot of people are aware of the dangerous ingredients that go in standard perfumes. And so these are all natural, and again, they have the beautiful packaging, and they're from the herbs or whatever is in them. They're from India. And so for this company called Anjali Ayurveda, they thought it was going to be soaps, and now it's turning out to be perfumes because it has a much better profit margin for them. So, addressing unmet needs. How can your background and abilities and interests serve an unmet need in the marketplace? So this is where it's all beginning to come together in terms of what are the trends, what are your gifts, talents, skills, interests, and then where's the need out there? So a lot of people, they want to start a business to solve their own needs, like they want to be, in charge and to be able to do what they want, but they have to make sure there's a need, a sizable need, that there isn't competition already filling that need, and that people will pay for it. So don't get stuck on what you want to offer. Please make sure the customer wants it. So an example of that, we have many businesses that come to wedc that want to do baked goods like brownies and cakes and things. And it really has to be something different because there's a lot of competition. There's bakeries out there. There's mail order. You can get these high-end brownies mail order. There's homemade, making it at home yourself from a box or from scratch. And so I think I live in Hastings-on-Hudson, and we have a new bakery that is called By the Way Bakery, and it's all gluten-free, and it tastes delicious. And so that's the difference of that company, of that store. They've identified that while there's many, many, many baked goods out there, I think there was one, maybe Sleepy Hollow, but there wasn't a lot of gluten-free, and so they got a lot of publicity, and people have been coming from all over the county to get these products because they taste so good, and the gluten-free is a growing trend. So don't get stuck on what you want to offer. Make sure customers want and need it. Want is something you wish to have, you desire to have, and a need is essential for living. And so please be aware that people buy the hopes, promises, satisfaction that they think your product or service will offer them. And so you need to consider, is what I'm going to create, is it going to save my customer time, money, energy? Is it going to make them healthier, better looking, or give them peace of mind? So it's not the features of what you're selling, but it's the benefit for the customer. And so remember this term called WIFM, W-I-I-F-M. People are tuned into what's in it for me. Is this for me? And all those different slides were to consider. Do I have the traits of a successful entrepreneur? Do I know what my strengths, gifts, talents are? Have I found an unmet need? Have I found a way to bring together my skills, gifts, talents with an unmet need in the form of a product or service, a sort of Venn diagram where the middle is what you're offering? Where is the opportunity? And this is you're going to want to work on a business plan. And you really need to narrow your focus. I think of it as an hourglass. So you narrow your focus to expand your opportunities. A lot of people come to wedc and they'll say, it's going to be the highest quality, least expensive. So they're trying to be all things to all people, and it just doesn't work. You have to figure out if it's the highest quality, it's going to be expensive. So really narrowing your focus, and you do this by building a roadmap, which is a business plan. So get your idea to work on paper. See if you can get it to be profitable. In our 60-hour class, the components of it are marketing, financials, operations, social media, e-commerce, there are a lot of packages out there now like Shopify and different things where you can buy something that will help you start selling on the internet. So you work on the various sections and you get it to work together. And it's often challenging. There's a lot of, this doesn't work, there's too much competition here, I can't make a profit. So it's a process where you need to keep trying things and working on it. And there's a lot of resources to help you. And then selling. Selling is so critical. Learning how to speak about your business confidently and succinctly. And so you're going to be selling all the time. So if you don't like selling, I don't think entrepreneurship is for you, because you're going to be selling to potential clients, you're going to be selling to potential investors, you're going to be selling to your family who are mad at you that you're still working on the business on the weekends, late at night. And I really recommend that you develop a strong elevator pitch, and that's sort of your what you would say if you're riding in an elevator and someone asked you about your business. A good way to think about that is, my customers have a problem, I help them take various actions, and these are the results that they get. And so if you were to just tell a story in your elevator pitch, you're giving an illustration of why someone should use your product or service. So a problem that your customer has, actions you help them take, and then results that were achieved. So that's a great sort of ingredients for a good elevator pitch. Researching the competition. What are their products and services? What are their prices? How is their quality? And this is so important, and this is part of the business planning. Is there room for your company in the marketplace? Can you do it better than the competition and make a profit? How? That is what the business plan is working on, telling you the how you're going to do that. I also want to say there's a great website called alexa.com. It's got competitor insight. There's many, many websites out there, but that comes to mind. And also, franchising is always an option. And I saw there's someone here at this conference named Frank, and he's from a company called FranNet. And franchising is, you're going to pay money to start one, but it's an established business model. They have spent the time to figure out what sells, how to brand it, how to advertise it, what the pricing is. There's often you pay a fee for annual sort of company-wide advertising. And so it's not cheap, but what you're buying is peace of mind because the business model has been developed. So that's another option for starting your own business. Entrepreneur Source is another one. They help you figure out the best franchise for you. So build your business network. I said that I worked in the food business, and I managed a restaurant in Chelsea, and we had this accountant named Erwin. And when Erwin came once a month to do our books, he would help. He was like a management consultant for restaurants because he worked with many different restaurants. And so he would tell us, these are the best cash registers to use. This is a new reservation system that's coming on the internet that would be a great way to get customers. Here's a cheaper linen company to use. I'm seeing in your numbers that this menu is not doing so well. You may want to switch back to the menu you had the season before. So our vendor for our restaurant was really our management consultant, and we weren't paying any extra, but we were getting all this amazing data to help us run the restaurant better. So I will forever be grateful to Erwin. You also want to identify, and other vendors, obviously, in whatever your business is. So you want to identify other business owners working with your target market and think about strategic alliances and centers of influence. Strategic alliance, an example, a physical therapist that I went to in White Plains, she identified a building where there were many orthopedists, and they had an open space on the lower level of the building. And she went to them and proposed, I want to start a physical therapy center down on this lower level. I have all this experience and education in it. And they said yes. And so basically anyone that comes to those orthopedists, they say, well, we have a center right downstairs. And so she has immediately customers, coming in, referred by the orthopedist, and she doesn't need to go out and market and really hustle for business because she was very smart and created a strategic alliance. So it's win-win for everybody as long as she's providing good services. Centers of influence, those are the people that know everybody and recommend, they recommend. So you want to find out who in your field is going to recommend you. I worked once with an architect, and she was lovely, and I said to her, if only my clients were all like you. You're just a pleasure to work with. You do all your homework, and you just have fun. And she was one of these centers of influence types, because before I knew it, like 10 other small business owners were calling me for coaching. So find the ones in your field. So then we talked earlier about having a strong support network for your business. So a good accountant, a good lawyer, a good banker, finding a mentor, maybe someone who's retired in your field who would like to give back because they're no longer doing it. And then other business training and support. So obviously Women's Enterprise Development Center, we offer this 60-hour class. We also have Westchester Community College with lots of offerings for entrepreneurs. We have SCORE Westchester, Community Capital for financing, and then business coaches. So there's a lot of support for you out there if you decide that this is for you. Now we're at the go. Make it happen. So now that you've done all of this and you really gotten that business plan to work on paper, now you want to create a legal entity for your business. So Westchester County Clerk is a good place, and also the New York State Division of Corporations. Those will help you to make a legal business. You want to set up a separate bank account and books for the business. You want to get appropriate licenses, permits. There's a website called Opal, O-P-A-L, and it's specifically for what licenses you need for your business. You want to obtain business insurance if you need it. And I'll add one more, which I was thinking about last night, taxes. You want to research your accountant will help you, but figure out what taxes need to be paid and start a regular process for doing that, especially payroll. Legally starting the business is taking care of yourself. And this is something that is not talked about a lot, but it's just so important because you will have, being in business for yourself it's an emotional roller coaster. There's a lot of highs, wins, good days, but then there can be days where you don't know how you're going to meet payroll. And you wish you were back in an office with a water cooler where you could have conversation with people. It can be very isolating. You have uncertainty. You don't know, is this direction I'm heading in? Is it right? So there's just a lot of highs and then a lot of lows. So you want to make sure that, and I have a note here, to make sure your greatest joy, doing the thing you love, does not become your trap. And I think we've all met people who, especially in retail and stuff, where they just, like, the business owns them. So you need to take care of yourself. So that means eating right, exercising, building in time, relaxation, entertainment, because you need the balance. Because if you get sick, who's going to run the business? And I'll make a note here to say you definitely would need to think about disability insurance. It's very good to have that, because if you do get sick, it's money that will come in that you can have if you can't actually be at the business making it. The reality, and people don't like to hear this, is that it takes an average of 3 years to get a business going and 5 years to earn a substantial income from it. So how will you live financially until it does? And most of the people that we see at WEDC have 2 jobs. They have like a day job and they're doing their business at night, or they've cobbled together 2 or 3 part-time things, or they, have family that will invest in the business, or friends. Be prepared to work hard, but more importantly, to work smart. Always ask yourself, what is the best use of my time? And that plays back to knowing your strengths. like I was hearing, I didn't get to see Barbara Corcoran this morning, but I was hearing what she said, and it really sounds like her strengths are promoting creative problem solving, promoting not taking no for an answer, like really good, strong self-talk in terms of, keeping herself motivated, and then having fun. I heard she stressed that about how important that is, and that can lead to creative solutions. So the best use of your time is to know what you're good at, do those things, and then bring in help like a bookkeeper or a webmaster, interns, for people that can do the things you don't do that easily, that it probably take you 10 hours where it might take someone 1 hour. It's really worth investing in that. So I just want to give you my favorite books. Michael Gerber is a thought leader in the field of entrepreneurship. His book, The E-Myth Revisited, came out in the 90s, maybe 80s, 90s, but it's a Bible for entrepreneurs. And he wrote a book much more recently, the second one, called Awakening the Entrepreneur Within. And the main point of that book is that we can't market our dream of wanting to be a business owner, that many people, that's what's driving them. They want to be in charge and they want to follow their dreams, but they haven't looked at who's the customer, what's the product service, is it profitable, will I enjoy doing it? They just have a dream of being their own boss. So Michael Gerber's point, which I really resonated for me after having worked with potential entrepreneurs for 20 years, is you can't market the personal dream. You have to figure out what it is the customers want and market that. Then this last book is more of a career book. It's for people who like to try things but then get bored, and then they try something else, and they try something else, and so they've ended up with sort of a resume of many, many different things that don't necessarily fit together, and so they're frustrated. It's The Renaissance Soul, Life Design for People with Too Many Passions to Pick Just One. And her concept is finding the top 3 things that you are good at and have enjoyed, and then being really creative to think about some type of business that's like an umbrella of those 3 things. So she walks you step by step through a lot of what I've been talking about today, but it's specifically for that creative type of person who has trouble settling on one area. And it's people that I've referred it to have said, oh my God, I've been looking for this book my whole life. So if that's you, I suggest you read it. I hope that I've given you, this is 9 basic points, and you'll find them in the PowerPoint and also the handout, 9 basic points to consider. Ready, is this for me? And I commend you for coming here today to begin to explore that. A lot of people just start a business and they haven't done any of this thinking, and they find out the hard way that it becomes a trap. So set, where is the opportunity? And often it's in the no's that you get to the yeses. So you have to actually be trying and testing and doing and course correcting. And then you begin to find that opportunity, like the perfumes of the Ayurvedic company. And then go, really taking the steps to make it an official legal business and having your support network in place. And then making sure that you build in time for yourself and for self-care and for rejuvenation so that you have balance so you don't burn out too quickly. Our organization, Women's Enterprise Development Center, and by the way, men are allowed to come to our services, and we have, it's something like 14% of the clients we have, 14 to 16% are men, so please come and use our services. And so we have offerings that are in all the different Ready, Set, Go points, paths. So the first one, Path to Entrepreneurship and First Steps, those are evening workshops to consider, is this for you? And it will go into more depth than I have tonight, and you'll even be able to look at your own idea and begin to develop it. Our 60-hour training class is a 15 weeks, 1 evening a week. We offer at Yonkers, White Plains, New Rochelle, Peekskill. It's English, Spanish. Every spring and every October. So we have 3 different classes every spring and every October, different places around the county, different languages. It's a great, great, great class. I used to teach it, and I just love the process of seeing people at the beginning and to the end, at the end of those 15 weeks, and when they've found their thing, and they've developed it, and they're ready to go get it started. And it's a learning laboratory to support you through this process I've talked about today. We have peer support groups for when you graduate, monthly goal-setting groups to come and set what you're going to do this quarter and talk to other business owners about how you're going to do it and get some problem solving. Business counseling. We have various networking events. We have MWBE, doing business with the government, access to capital workshops. The next one is June 11th at our offices, 1133 Westchester Avenue. We have a microloan program and even more. We even have more things than what I've listed here. As I said, you have all of this on your thumb drive, and thank you.